Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater here, RunBlogRun, and we're with the one, the only Hobbs Kessler. Great to see you, man.
It's good to see you, too.
So, you did some cool things this summer. I got to see the Olympic trials, and you blew my mind. But you have been running confident all year. I remember you in February at the New Balance meet, and you made Jake hurt. You know, and I got a kick out of that. I love Jake. I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah, great guy.
But you know, it's all about the competition.
Yeah.
What's different with you this year? Why are you running? Why did you run so aggressively? There's three words that I've been using all season. I wrote, you're much more aggressive in your racing. I wrote, you're much more focused in your racing, and you and running like a veteran. You know, and are you 21 now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Wow. You know, that's only 45 years ago for me, but I do remember that. So what's the difference for you this year, Hump?
Yeah, so there's been a few things, right? Depending on where we're at in the year, but really, I appreciate you saying focus, because that's really, I really tried to be focused in everything I did, and really professional and intentional and deliberate about my training, my approach, and everything. Because I'm at a place where I have the bandwidth to do so, and running's my job, and I'm going to treat it as such. So going into New Balance indoors, which is a race you brought up, I was really confident in my preparation yet.
Yeah.
I was really confident in my preparation, but I didn't quite have the confidence yet. But it was a little bit of a fake it till you make it type situation, right?
Sure.
I was so terrified at the thought of the Olympic trials. And it sent shivers down my spine. So, and I didn't want to count on that feeling going away. So I said, I'm terrified. I'm going to get as comfortable being terrified as I possibly can. And so that's what I use indoors for, is mental training for these really stressful races in the summer, the Olympic trials and the Olympics. We went and tried to find the most high stakes, stressful races we could, and just fake it till you make it, go and try to win them. And I was terrified at first. I remember a few hours before I raced right before I had to leave the hotel, a few hours before I raced at New Balance, being pulled up in my covers all the way, like terrified. Because I knew I was fit and I knew I was capable, but obviously you don't know until the result's there, right?
Sure.
For sure. So I was really scared, but I just kind of made that deal with myself that I was going to be brave and do the scary thing and start mentally training myself to handle these stressful situations. So that's what indoors was for, and that gave me a bunch of confidence outdoors that I could execute no matter the circumstances, and that really set the tone for the rest of the year.
By the time you ran New Balance, you had raced 3 times already?
In World Indoors or
did you do the 1,000 meters in Michigan? Did you do 1,000?
No. So I opened up with New Balance. That was the
that was your open up. Okay,
yep.
So that was from your okay.
Yep.
All right. And then so what did you learn from that race?
So that was just one of the pieces of the puzzle, but I just learned that I could be scared and still execute well. And the execution was in my control. Like, I think I used to have the attitude, and I think a lot of runners do, that like once the gun goes off, it's kind of like out of your hands. And like, it's just like, it's just like this wild card thing. But in reality, it's like you're calling every shot and you control how well you execute the race. So I started getting more and more confidence that I was going to execute the race well, no matter how I felt in the color room and how nervous I was.
What about Millrose? How did you feel at Millrose?
Terrified, same thing.
Yeah,
it was really scary. That one was pretty simple, right? Because I'm just like, Yard wants the world record. That's my ride. And I think we were out in like 151, and I just remember a few hundred meters in being like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the line at this pace, but you really have no choice. You just stay in there. Like, that's your ride, and you got to take it. So, hung in there to the end, and couldn't quite get Yard, but still came away with a really good performance and beat a lot of really good guys. And
what does a 151 feel like?
It's hard. It feels like you're not going to make it to the finish line.
Yeah.
But you kind of just have to be present. You can't be worried about later in the race. You just have to take it one step at a time. and really not be worried about the future, because like you don't really have control how fast you're going. You go with the pace, right? And most of the time you actually can make it farther than you think. Your mind kind of plays tricks on you, but it takes a lot of focus to be able to run that close to your limit or your red line. So
the third quarter of a mile, the third 400 of a 1500. Why do you race that well?
I mean, I just think it's about staying engaged and focused, right? Again, it takes a lot of mental energy to stay focused. I mean, it's only 4 minutes, but it's so hard to stay focused that long when you're exerting yourself that hard. So really staying focused, staying relaxed, and staying present in the race. A lot of times your mind wanders and gaps open and stuff, but you really have to lock in. And I just always tell myself, just get to 300 to go, get to a lap to go, whatever it is, right? And like you just gotta get to the next part, and then you get to the next part, you're all right, I'm still good. And then so I get to 300 to go, all right, get to 150 to go, and start working through the gears, the whole thing. But it's hard, but you kind of just gotta trust that you're not gonna blow up and trust in your fitness, which is scary, but it's
sure.
You kind of gotta have that, trust your body and take that leap of faith.
I met your folks at New Balance Meet, and they're really very proud of you, as you know.
I'm glad. Yeah. Good
do you is most of your anxiety or most of your concern from inside you, or do you sometimes feel the pressure of everybody around you wanting you to do well?
No, I don't necessarily feel that pressure, but I do want to honor all the people that have looked out for me and supported me by really giving my best effort and performing the best to my ability. But I know they'll love me regardless, and it's we're doing this for fun. You know what I mean? It's just a sport.
Sure.
But another, I think, important thing about the race anxiety and race stress is it's often talked about as a bad thing, but I don't think it is. I think that's part of the fun of the sport is dealing with that stress, and that's part of the puzzle. And so navigating through that is I think really it's really important part of the sport, but it's just I think that's one of the reasons it's so rewarding and so fulfilling is it's these really hard challenges that you have to overcome, and I don't know, it's beautiful. I feel like it shouldn't be looked negatively on, because while it is very scary in the moment, it all it means is you care and you're trying your best, and
you're alive.
You're alive, and I kind of have the philosophy, as humans we crave stress. We're going to be stressed no matter. We can't have a stress quota.
Yeah.
So I prefer to direct it in a healthy way rather than kind of letting it manifest on its own. So I feel like taking ownership of those nerves kind of helps me. This is one of the reasons I love the sport. It's so fulfilling, and almost being grateful for them kind of flips the script on it. And you can run through them. At the end of the day, they don't matter really. But
talk to me about your coaching relationships. So I know you have Ronnie, and then you have you mentioned to me, I think at the trials, that you're working with someone else, and I didn't get his name, and I would love to be able to include that in an interview.
Yeah, so a few people help me, but the main ones are, so my dad has kind of taken over as Ronnie has kind of started to change his role a little bit. So my dad, and then Pat Henner, who is the coach at Georgetown for a while.
Sure, yeah, I know Pat. Yeah, wow.
He's a really smart, really good guy. So he's like family at this point, and him and my dad have gotten extremely close, and so Pat is kind of a consultant and works with my dad and everything, and a huge part of our system. And then Dr. Jeffrey Burns, he's a physiologist for the Olympic Committee. Okay. He actually ran for Ronnie about 10, 15 year ago at Michigan. And then he went on to get his doctorate in physiology.
Cool.
He wrote a bunch of papers on running and stuff. And he's another really brilliant guy, along with Pat and my dad. And so he helps us with the scientific side of things. And then Pat is super experienced, so he kind of has the experience. And then my dad is super smart and brings a lot of his own perspectives to the table. And he also understands me very well, which really helps.
That's important, man.
And just has a lot of I don't know, he just has a really high running IQ, and he's also very good at organizing things and bringing all these people together. So it's a really unorthodox system, but it works really well, and all the people in it I love dearly. So
Nick Willis. Nick was someone that was very much involved with you early on in your development. Do you still chat with him?
Yeah. I try to. I've gotten really close with his family, so I try to see them as much as I can. Just going to his kids' soccer games and stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I don't run with Nick too much, but yeah, I try to stay involved with the Willises.
Is he still running?
I mean, I think to like recreationally.
Yeah.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, I just remember seeing him for such a long time.
Yeah, he was
and everything. It was just a while. What's the biggest mistake high schoolers make at running the mile?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you I guess a training answer and not a racing answer.
Yeah, cool.
Because I think the preparation for the mile is equally as important to the execution. I think a lot of high schoolers have a tendency to when they train, they want to feel like they're pushing against something. They want to feel the burn. They want to feel like they're doing something. So whether that's pushing really hard on their easy days, so they're breathing hard and it hurts a little bit, or really going hard in their workouts, I really encourage them to. You don't have to run through discomfort, or like as long as you're running, you're getting better, and you don't have to feel like you're pushing against something. Any runner kind of knows that feeling of like pressing. I like to call it the anxiety press, but I think it's really not productive. And just be secure that you're doing enough and that your training's going to get you where you need to be, and not leaving your races and your workouts. Save your races for your races.
First time I saw you race live was at Portland in 2021 when you got the North American, was a junior 1500 record. That field was just insane. Were you nervous before that?
Absolutely. I mean, I was really nervous, super nervous, but
hold on 1 second. Let me just see. Someone's knocking at the door, and I'll be right back.
Look what champion for.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We got about 15 minutes still. Can you give me a few more minutes?
Yeah. Do you want me to wait in here?
You can sit in here if you want to enjoy me making his life a living hell.
No,
I got gotcha journalism happening here, man.
Not with Larry. Not with Larry. What's good, bro?
Good to see you. How you been?
I'm blessed and highly favored, man.
I like that. Your hoodie.
Oh, appreciate it. It's a League of Legends team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're sponsored by
Aiken Esports?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a cool one. I like that.
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
they just dropped this.
Do you play League of Legends?
Oh yeah, almost every day.
It's too complicated for me. I can't get
I'm
into it.
telling you, man. If you get somebody that help you just like, play with,
Yeah.
then it starts getting a lot easier to understand. But it is a heavy
It seems cool.
learning curve.
Yeah.
But once you learn it,
It's
you're in
good.
for life.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna be enough of a distraction.
All right. Anyway, Portland.
Portland. So were you? That was one of your first times with a. I mean, because you'd broken 4 minutes by that time.
Yep.
Because I saw you do that. I was at one of Paul Doyle's meets.
Yeah.
And I remember watching you and Nick, but then watching you in that 1500. So talk to me about that race.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the kind of everything in my season was geared towards that race. And I had run a few pro 1500s at that point, but I ran really passively in all of them. And when you run passively, you tend to get passive results, right? So I just remember thinking to myself, I'm going to put myself into this race, and the boldness kind of paid off. Where the weather was perfect, the field was perfect, my shape was perfect, and it was just one of those like fairy tale nights where everything went to plan. I think I was probably a 3:37 guy that ran 3:34 that night, just because everything was so perfect. And I remember crossing the line and like I couldn't believe the guys I had beaten and the time I had run, and like it took a while to set in. Like I don't think I went to sleep that night. One of like the most euphoric moments of my life.
That's cool.
Because I kind of realized like I probably wasn't going to NAU at that point. Everything was kind of changing. It was just it was a lot, but I also just felt like I did right by all the people that like Ronnie, who had really looked out for me, and Nick and Mason and my dad and everyone who had kind of like spent a lot of energy, their own time and energy trying to get me to a really good spot running. And my parents had spent, like I was really lucky, they kind of like almost spent more money than I had, like traveling me and Ron around to try to
Sure.
like, get good races in. So just to have it go right, it felt like really good.
You, the decision to go pro, I'm always curious about that. Was that a difficult decision for you to make?
Yeah, I mean, up until now, or so thus far in my life, it's been the hardest decision I've had to make. And luckily, there were everyone involved in the decision had my best interest in mind. So,
Sure.
Like Ronnie, Adidas, Coach Smith, everyone was on my team. It wasn't like when Alan Webb was trying to make the same decision, and there were people pulling at him in all directions, which
That was a nightmare. It was.
At I don't know if you have the skills to do with that at any age, but you definitely don't have like the maturity and skills at 18 or the perspective. So
Yeah, we were sitting at a dinner at a very ritzy place up by Sacramento, and there were bids from 5 different brands, and they were going back and forth. And I was with Ray, and I was with a couple, and we had a bunch of us together, and no one knew where it was going to go, man.
Yeah,
it was a fascinating one, and I always thought that truly affected Alan.
Yeah, I don't think that's good for you. You know?
It just wasn't. I just didn't.
Yeah,
it was a healthy thing.
That's a good point. Yeah, luckily, like Coach Smith is the one who told me to go pro.
Oh, cool.
So I was pretty adamant on going to NAU just because like it just like was kind of like I think like running on a collegiate team, especially one with that kind of a culture and at that level, is like first of all one of the best ways to develop as a runner, but also just like one of the greatest things you can be a part of. Like it would have been, I think, one of the highlights of my life. So
Sure.
letting go of that was super hard, but also other doors opened when that door closed. But once we like started talking numbers and realized kind of like the long-term implications of everything, it became obvious I should go pro. But it was still really hard to let go of NAU, and Coach Smith was like kind of helped bridge the gap. He's like, hey, you can come live with the guys on the team, you can come train with them, like you'll still be a part of this. It's just going to look a little different. So that was the last piece I needed to make the decision.
Sure.
But that, I think, that decision like fried me for like, I think 2 months. Like I was, by the time I got to the Olympic trials and had decided to go pro, I was just cooked from this, the stress of making that decision.
Was that a hard experience for you, that first trials?
Yeah. I mean, so like the 800 of the trials in 2024 is what I wanted those trials to be like. With no expectations, just go out there and compete to the best of your ability. But I was so burnt out, and I just don't think I had the bandwidth or maturity for it yet to deal with it. So I just wasn't ready. And it was a good experience, but I was a little, I don't know. I wasn't developed enough to really.
Sure. It takes time, man.
And how I needed to. Yeah.
Let me talk about social media for a minute. Social media is a part of all of our lives, right? I spend way too much time dealing with this stuff.
Yep.
And one of the things I tell young athletes all the time is to control their narratives and to not tell everything about your life, because as soon as you do, I was with Lolo Jones back in 2012, and she was one of the first real big social, goddesses, and the amount of stuff that people would say about her, I couldn't believe people would think this way, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel the pressure from social media in your running?
I mean, not particularly. I think I've had a lot of guidance in like how I set up my kind of circle. So it's like I know whose opinions matter, and I really value what they have to say. And if they're like, if they have something negative to say, I take it really seriously. But people on the internet have no context. To anything, whatever it is, training, racing, your personal life. So it's hard to take them seriously.
I like the way, was it Ronnie's son?
Yes.
Does a lot of the stuff. Because I loved last year when he did some of your early season meets and just the way he showed it, and then the cross country race. Do you like cross country?
I mean, I haven't run it in a while. I think I would have loved to run cross country at NAU, but it's really brutal. Especially like it's just everyone's so good. It's so deep, and the race. It's just such a hard race. So I do like it, but it hasn't really been a part of my journey.
That's cool. I want to take you to the World Indoor, but just before that, the U.S. Indoor Champs. I thought you ran very well there. What was the key to you doing well at the U.S. Champs and making the World Championship team?
It's kind of like I'm really proud of that race. Not like because like the way I positioned myself or anything, but I feel like I was really tenacious of like getting this is my spot on the team. I'm gonna get it. Because I the first 800 meters I was in really bad position, running wide, kind of getting bumped around, and then Cole made a move and I was able to get up there with him, but I was really proud of myself to not get flustered after things it was like a little bumpy, right? And it's easy to shut down like, oh, today's not my day, but when it's a championship race, you can't shut down like that. You got to stay engaged, even if it's not perfect. So I was really proud about how I was able to like stay focused and still find a spot on the team.
You ran balls to the wall in the World Indoors, man, and that was one of the most fun races I have ever been able to witness.
Yeah, it was a great last 100 meters.
Did you have any idea that it was Gordy Beamish?
I mean, he that's his signature move. So
okay, yeah.
He's known for closing really, really well. His mechanics seem to really help him with that. Like that's just like his talent.
Yeah,
is being able to just really turn over the last 50. But that race, I was really struggling mentally warming up. I thought in my head the race has already happened and I had run bad, and I was trying to figure out why the race had gone so bad.
Yeah. And
I was like, what did I do wrong in training? What's wrong with my mental game? And then eventually I realized the race hadn't even happened yet. And I was like, all right, get it together, focus up. And so, this race hasn't happened yet. Don't give up yet. So I was kind of able to rally and fight for the win and come home with a medal. And so I really tried to put myself in position to stay engaged the whole time, because when you're feeling a little mentally off like that and you go to the back, the race might be over. You just don't you're not you kind of got to put yourself in a position where you have to be engaged. So between that and I think out of the 4 7-person heats, there was a fall in 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they put 14 people on, so there's twice as many people. I'm like, oh, there's going to be a pile up, and I don't want any part of it. So I was like, so I can stay engaged and so I don't get caught in a pile up, I'm going to go to the front, and it's indoors, so it's really easy to defend your position. Shockingly, there was no fall. There was a few close calls, but I kept waiting for guys to go around me, and they just never did. They never did, and then I was like, I came around the last bend. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to win. And then 2 guys went by me, but I was still really proud about how I was able to rally. I
thought it was a brilliant race.
I was really struggling.
It was great to see you guys. It was great to see the U.S. doing well in middle distance races.
Yep. We cleaned up there, and then that was a little bit of foreshadowing for Paris, right?
Yeah. Talk to me about the only race that I thought was that I was worried about you in the spring was at Prefontaine. I didn't know if you'd gotten hurt. Did you get hurt there?
No. Cole just kind of cut in on my space, and
okay.
It was either I go down and take everyone out with me, or step on the inside. So it was kind of a decision made in a split second, but he cut in on me because we both want that spot on the rail up front, and just so our legs kind of got tangled up, and we both tripped, and so to stay on my feet I just stepped on the inside, and then I look over and there's no way to get back in the race. So it was really it was the only really bummer part of the season, but I'm glad I kind of did the less selfish thing and got stepped on the inside rather than trying to stay on my feet and wiping out 6, 7, 8 guys behind me. It would suck to ruin their days too.
Well, I was worried that you were going to injure your ankle because coming in on the curve.
Right on the rail. And
I've seen that happen.
Yeah, luckily, it was a bummer, but it could have been worse. Yeah.
The Olympic trials were an incredible dream for you, and so that you're the first American since Rick Wohlhuter in 1976.
Yeah,
and
world
Rick
record roll in the 8, right?
Total stud, man.
Yeah,
and 80 too. Yeah. And he did the 1,000 in 2:13, man.
It still stands as the American record, right?
Still the American record.
Yeah,
and it went for 20 plus years as the world record.
Wow.
And because he went through when he ran his 2:13, he went through 144, man.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, it's
I think it's 113.9, isn't it? So Man, that must have been not a very comfortable.
He had
Must have hurt me.
really tight Achilles, and so he would bounce. He was in a Adidas, I think it was the Spider. That was about a bunch of. I ran the 10,000 that thing, but he would bounce right on his metatarsals, and he had this. He flew, But when he ran against Juan Torina and Ivo Andama, that was the guys that he battled in Montreal.
Yeah.
But so you've got history there, man.
Yeah.
Did you know
Elite
all that
company.
stuff before when you were trying to do that? Or?
Yeah, I mean the 8, I was not expecting to make the team. I was just I was like, this is a great opportunity to kind of develop as a racer and also get some good training stimulus
Sure,
in.
yeah.
But then after running 143 in the semifinal, I was like, well, we're gotta get on the team now. Like, there's no reason not to be. So that made me kind of accountable to, like, all right, this is serious.
Bryce told me that it's fun training with you.
Oh, that's good.
He says that, but you do double threshold, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll do a threshold with you in the morning or something, and then you'll come back and do another one in the afternoon. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, so his event is half the distance, and he does half the training.
Yeah.
And so it works out really well because, like, I train twice a day, he trains once a day, so he just does half of what I do. Yeah. Or I do double he does.
Explain to me threshold workout, the way you guys do the double threshold.
Yeah, so basically there's a point, a certain intensity when you run that your blood lactate goes from an exercise baseline, so it's stable, low, and then you cross an inflection point where it starts being stable but elevated. So that's called LT1. So that's the first threshold, and that kind of marks the start of threshold. And then you continue running, and your body produces more and more lactate the more intense you go, because there's more oxygen demand. So you have to metabolize carbs for energy, right? But your body's continuously clearing it as you're producing it, so it's stable in your bloodstream. And then there's a certain point where your body's producing it faster than it can clear. So that's called LT2. Okay. And then so after that, it starts getting higher and higher. So it's kind of like a magical training zone where you're training like both types of muscle fibers, but it's just like kind of been it's like arguably the most effective area to spend your energy, because you get the most stimulus for the least fatigue, and it's a really specific stimulus to what you're doing when you train running, and it's like one of the main factors of how well you're going to run is your lactate threshold. So
yeah, we used to do threshold workouts every Tuesday for the 10.
Yep.
And then we did a drill. Dellinger taught me.
Did you run at Oregon?
No, I coached at Santa Clara, and he helped me post-collegiate.
Wow. I see,
and
yeah.
so he and Chaplin would answer my questions, because
I see, yeah.
I'd be the guy hanging around banging a beer after the stuff.
Fair,
and
yeah.
And Dellinger was great, but we did this workout where it was a quarter race pace, a quarter at 6, quarter race pace, boom, boom. I've read up, I've got all the books on lactate.
Yeah.
And my East German friends, I knew a bunch of the coaches. There was guys doing lactate stuff in the 70s, but it's not as sophisticated as now. So what would be a typical threshold, a double threshold day for you? Can you explain a workout? Can you give me?
Yeah. So it's first of all, it's like really, it's interesting. Like, it's like the new training method that everyone's doing, and everyone's like, oh, this is why everyone's running so fast. But it's been around for the last 50 years, right? But I think the new carbon plated shoes make it a lot more effective, because you can get so much more volume in. Without beating up your legs. But a typical day I'd do something like 5 by 2K in the morning. Okay. And then off of like 1 minute rest or 75-second rest, and then 24 by 400 at night. Off of like 30 to 40 seconds rest.
So I want to get you
roughly 30 minutes a session. So the way the Norwegians do is they say you go for 2 hours a week of threshold. It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Jakob and his brothers. They're really an interesting.
Yeah, they're intense,
especially when you get them on their own. Jakob's pretty mellow. but especially if he thinks you're not an asshole, which is kind of, I think, part of the biggest thing with all.
Yeah.
So you're down to the last 4 minutes with me.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
So I want to talk about Paris. Tell me about the 800.
Oh man, it was hard. I raced the 1500 final at 9 p.m. on I think it was like Wednesday, and then Thursday at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Sorry, I raced the 800. So
You had to be sore as hell.
well, it was more like I was so ramped up, biggest race of my life, caffeinated, tired, like a lot of emotions, right? And then within an hour and a half of the race, I was in bed. So it was really, really bizarre. But I mean, I had like just over 12 hours till I race again. So went laid and just, I knew I wasn't going to sleep, but I just went and laid still, tried to just relax as much as possible and turn off as much as possible. Slept a few hours. Alarm goes off, I don't know, way too early. Get myself up, go to the track, start warming up again. It felt like this. And then I really didn't want to get pushed to the repetrage, so I was fighting for my life to try to not have to do that. So barely made it to the semifinal, and there's a day out after that, so I was like, all right, I'll recover. But I think just doing the double like that and not sleeping just fried my nervous system. So I was just completely flat by the time.
Talk to me about the 1500 final.
I mean, I think it's the greatest 1500 race of all time.
Yeah, it was
So
totally blew my mind.
pretty
Absolutely.
incredible to be a part of. I wish I could have been more in contention. Those guys are just older and have more training years under their belt. So I know I'll be there eventually, but I just need to stack year after year on top of each other to kind of get into shape. They're just fitter than I was.
Okay, final 3 questions. Are you reading any books right now? Anything that's a big deal for you?
So my dad's friend just sent me a box of books from the 80s.
Oh, cool.
So they have Marty LaCourie's training book, Jim Ryan's autobiography, Steve Ovette's autobiography, Steve Scott's autobiography,
They're good
and
books.
Sebco's autobiography. So I'm kind of picking my way through those. But it's just funny because they're almost 50 years old now.
Add to them Once a Runner. It's by John Parker.
Yep. I've read
And
Once a
it's we would read it all the time. It
Yep.
was just total geekdom. If you were talking to a group of high school kids, what would you tell them was your biggest mistake as a high school runner?
My biggest mistake as a high school runner. That's a good question. I think I didn't know how to regulate. I'm pretty proud of how I conducted myself as a high schooler, but I didn't know how to kind of regulate my intensity when I was training. So every workout was really hard, and I think it's okay that all you gotta do is get the work in it. You don't have to kill yourself every day, right? Training's not about one day; it's about the cumulative. So having a good long-term training outlook, I think, is really important. But also race a lot.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to.
You like to race.
Well, that's what the sport's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're in high school. You're never gonna have the opportunity to race this much again in your life. So, and it's the best thing you can do to become the fittest runner and the most race savvy. So.
Well, Hobbs, you survived.
Barely.
4 minutes, man. It's always great to see
Yeah.
you. This is Larry Eater with RunBlogRun. We're with Hobbs Kessler. He is the first American male since 1976 to make the 800 and the 1500 in the Olympics, and we're going to be seeing him for many more years to come. So, LA 2028, DEF, right? Mm-hmm. Probably 2032?
Maybe one more after that too.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, let's
all right.
keep going.
That'll be my 13th Olympics then.
Excellent.
All right, take care. You got to stay one more time so I can get a
Yep.
picture of you. And